6.2 million bags, and these bags were worth about 826 million US dollars. But of course, that has been an increment as compared to the previous financial year, that's 2020-2021, where the nation exported about 6.08 million bags, which were worth 559 million US dollars. So you can see there is an initiative, because as we speak right now, the countries that are leading when it comes to the market share of export for the coffee, that's Germany, there is India, and also Sudan, of course, our neighbors just right here. And today, this memorandum of understanding is to ensure that there is an establishment and promote a mutual understanding between these two bodies, that's the Private Sector Foundation and the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, to ensure that Uganda can compete effectively with other countries when it comes to coffee exports. And recently, the State Minister for Agriculture, that's Chaklaga, launched a wet coffee processing machine that to ensure that these products are really put out there to ensure the quality and the addition of the value when it comes to coffee exports. And of course, the event we are actually concluding. It's really very, very, very quiet here. And of course, yes, that's what we have for you on what's happening on ground. I think let's get back to studio with Joram Paul Sonko.
We need to heavily invest in marketing. It's something very critical. People outside there do not know Ugandan coffee. And we have the best organic coffee. Because whoever comes, I have some visitors from Netherlands, when they tasted our coffee, from Angoli Producers Cooperative Union, they really attested to this, and they say this is the best coffee. They don't have that coffee in Europe. So how do we invest in the market? It's very critical. Beyond that, how do we invest in production and productivity for that matter? Personally, I grow coffee on 4 acres. But the production is low compared to Brazil and other countries. So how do we invest in this to make sure that there is productivity? Last week, I visited the Kawumu Presidential Demonstration Farm, and I saw how coffee is doing well at that farm. I compared with my coffee back in Rukunjiri. It is terrible. So how can we invest in this to make sure that however much you have a small portion of land, but productivity is very high? And how do we do this? Do we provide extension services? I will tell you, MDUCDA. I am Ukuroza, I'm just next to sub-county, Nyabushanja sub-county. I am a model farmer in the whole district. I grow coffee, but I can even take 6 months without meeting anybody to help me on how best I can produce. So these are extension services that are needed because I'm an accountant. I'm not an agriculturist, but I'm into farming. So how do I get someone with that technical expertise to provide extension services to make sure that our production increases? Then how do we bring the farmers in the equation? How do we ensure that farmers get the best price? I cannot even tell you how much money I'm getting per kilo of coffee. But I happened to visit a country in Europe, and I found our coffee in the supermarket. It was branded Uganda CP coffee. A kilogram was selling at 24 euro. It's almost 100 plus. Now I ask myself, me as a farmer and the trader, who is earning more? This is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Why would a trader earn more money than a farmer? So what do? We need to heavily invest in this sector. I know we don't have enough resources, but I think this marriage, UCDA, private sector, and even UCA, we can really engage government to invest heavily in coffee, to make sure that we can do the marketing, we can do the aggregation, we can even have processing done here so that we export a finished product. Why should Ugandans export a raw coffee? As if we don't have brains. So people are just seated making money, but for us we are not making money, yet we are farmers. We are the producers of this coffee.
If today we decided to cut all the garden, the coffee trees, there is no coffee. So ideally, I would be making more money than the other person, but we need to work together. So this is why it is paramount to have such partnerships so that we consolidate our efforts. Because ideally, UCDA is there, private sector is there, UCA is there. Why are we working in isolation, yet we are serving the same person? Then another thing is supporting the revival of the coffee cooperative unions. Talk about Wamara, talk about Bugisu, Sebei Elegon, Masaka, and others. How do we work together? For example, how, Mr. Simi, my namesake, private sector, how do we work together on this idea so that we revive these unions? Because these unions would support the farmers in production, aggregation, value addition, and marketing of the coffee. And the farmers were very happy. I would give you an example of Ankole Coffee Producers Cooperative Union. Every year, they pay premium of $1 billion plus to farmers. So farmers are happy by bringing coffee to the union. So if this coffee was not going through this union, all this money would be going to the pockets of the individuals, and the farmers would be demoralized. So this is something that I wanted to put across. And then lastly, the issue of financing. How do we work together on this issue? How, for example, given this partnership, engage the financial institutions to provide affordable and appropriate financing to the value chain actors. Someone was talking about standards. People are selling green coffee. People are selling gardens because they need money. So how, for example, can we work together? How does this work to make sure that farmers can actually access money? They wait, harvest well, take their coffee when it is ready, and then we are able to transform this country. I thank you.
Thank you so much. And for starters, please go and grab a cup of coffee. We have plenty of coffee here. Okay. So in case your cup is empty, please you can head there and have a cup of coffee. The issue of extension workers, I think it's one big challenge we have as a country, because the ratio of extension workers to a farm is about 1 to 1,800, which is really very terrible, and we hope probably this can also be facilitated under our partnership to make sure that you make much money and you're able to employ your own extension worker. You don't have to.
And of course, we are summing this up, as you can see what's really transpiring right there regarding the MOU that's between the Private Sector Foundation and the Uganda Coffee Development Authority. And of course, let's get back to studio right now with Joram Paul Sonko to keep driving your business.
1 minute to, as the last speaker,
and thank you very much, Berije Andrew, for that. He's live at the Kampala Serena Hotel with that particular discussion and conversations ongoing on how to add value to Uganda's coffee between the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda together with the Uganda Coffee Development Authority. We're looking at how we can rejuvenate the sector once more. Well, pretty much the situation. Now let's get back into our topic of discussion, and we conclude with what we were discussing with Dr. Chibuka Mohammed, who is an economist and lecturer at Kampala International University. Let's first continue with that.
Obviously, a lot of treaties which the governor would be sitting in are now affected, and I believe personally that there could be an impact on the international investors who would wish to talk with the high authority like the governor of Uganda, or they want to believe that the economy is under control when the governor is there. If the governor is not there, so the top monetary and the other financial related policies are coming from who? Yeah, if they are not coming from a political leader, then they are, who is not actually professional economically, then they are coming from other deputies who are considered to have no full power to do so. You know, investment is by size. There are those who are small investors, there are those who are medium investors, and those who are big or large investors. There are also the levels of formalization. In most cases, small investors have not reached the level of formalization. Formalization, I mean, they go, they register their business investments, they get the names, they get the licenses, then they get the TIN numbers, and they start paying taxes to the government. That may take time. And in any country which is aspiring to develop like Uganda, they give that one up to a certain, at least the people of Uganda, during making awareness about those things of who is exempted from tax at what size. For example, if you are still a small business, you are exempted from such and such taxes. But when COVID ended, they are not so much active as of now. But when you move away from that level of making a chapati from one stall, then you can go to another level of maybe having a bigger investment, you have a vehicle, so you are serving a bigger portion of the market, and that requires that the government intervenes, comes, they check to ensure that you have everything that is required to ensure that the investment and the products you are providing are safe for the nationals and even for the foreigners to consume. At that time, you get a license, you register, you are authorized to work. So in other words, levels of being referred to as an investor may differ from the government or from the policy level. But to me, anybody who establishes something, even if it is small, even if you set up a farm of cows and they are 3 and you are producing milk, you are selling to neighbors for purposes of getting money out, and you are making a profit, you are an investor. So you can start small and you grow big. By the way, in the whole world, small investors are bigger in number compared to the large investors. You may find that the large investors do not even make 20% of all the investors in the world. And even in the provision of employment opportunities, smaller investors provide more employment opportunities, more jobs as compared to the large investors. The only issue here in Uganda is the issue of a foreigner being looked at preferentially, being given too much preference. When, for example, a local person opens up a kiosk, the way these guys from Uganda Revenue Authority or from the local government licensing offices, the way they treat them may fail to give them any preference and encouragement. Yet a foreigner comes and is treated as an investor and is putting up the same thing almost within the same margin of capital. As a person, I would think that if a local person starts a small investment, then he should be given a grace period. Then he can start paying the taxes and not be shut down. You know, these people from those of license, so the so-called tax collectors, they can come and the way they torture people, I see there in the markets and what, close up, you don't have a license. Yet somebody managed to mobilize some little capital, and tomorrow is going to be a big contributor to the national tax revenue. Yeah. Actually, even that one would take you back to the other question of how to strengthen the local currency. First of all, I want to believe that there are limited incentives for local investors. They are there, but they are limited compared to the incentives given to the foreign investors. But even then, those limited ones are not well communicated to the people. The people in Uganda are not aware. The programs to publicize that are very few. I myself, I rarely see. For example, the director of Uganda Investment Authority, he rarely comes out and even writes about the incentives Ugandan local investors would really enjoy. So that's why you see the exploitation of such incentives could even be limited. I believe there could be some incentives which very few people are aware of and they are exploiting. Things like tax holidays. I just wonder, a person from an investor from my local village there in Iseta, Butambala, when will that investor be aware that when you import such a machine which produces local goods, all the taxes you have paid will be refunded to you? I want to call upon at least the leaders and the policy makers, like the speaker, that the translation of policy and the dissemination of policies in Uganda is still a major problem. Uganda is is on a decentralized system, but you may find that in a full district, the representative of Uganda Investment Authority or related bodies are very few. Either there is one who is coming also from Kampala, is not down to the ground. People don't know what is going on. Like even the farmers, there could be a lot of incentives for farmers who would wish to add value to the agricultural products, but they are not aware, so they are not encouraged. And there is no way we can strengthen the currency when the local production is not the information about them is not well disseminated to sink down to the first producer in my village and in your village and in any other person's village. Yeah.
All right, and that is it from the part of Dr. Chibuka Muhammad. National University with the critical analysis of Uganda's economy this particular morning. It's the 1st of August 2022. Thank you very much for being part of Smart Men's Business. And for all of you, you can still add us up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is Smart24TV Official. Then Twitter is Smart24TV. Then Instagram is Smart24_TV for more details regarding business reports and stories plus expert analysis. Thank you very much for being part of SMB today. It's 1st August and conquer those opportunities, and may you have a blessed month of August, this very one. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Have a blessed day. Good morning.